Well, this is amazing that we have this type of technology in the last, I'd say, 20 years that I know of. I'll turn, let me see, 70 next month. I don't feel it, but I feel kind of like I need to say a few things to people. First of all, I'm a retired Vietnam veteran, okay? And I'm also a retired New York City Union Ironworker. And I also been studying the Middle East for basically my whole life. I grew up in an area in New York called Riverdale, New York, okay, which is the Bronx. It's right on the Hudson River, and I had the luxury of a beautiful view as a kid, looking at the boats going up and down the Hudson River, the Circle Line, which takes tourists around the island of Manhattan, in Spite and Dival, which connects the East River to the Hudson River, okay, and the tracks that come down from upstate into Manhattan with produce. I lived right on that intersection uh, when you got out of Manhattan and the first exit into the Bronx, which happened to be a highly upper class, I'd say, Anglo Catholic, Irish, predominantly Jewish neighborhood. Now, when I moved up to Riverdale, that was from Washington Heights. Washington Heights, okay, was basically where I lived, was a Jewish enclave. Another, now, I don't know why or how this went down or what my grandfather saw, okay, as a vision, but he saw not to bring his part of the family, the Messina line, up in a traditional Italian or Sicilian, okay, uh, neighborhood, but chose to be around Jewish people who he felt were prosperous people. I mean, I lived right across the street from the Grand Yeshiva in Manhattan on 187th and Amsterdam Avenue, right down from the IRT train, which takes you from Upper Manhattan, Washington Heights, into Lower Manhattan. Matter of fact, I live right in the neighborhood where that guy allegedly escaped. He went to the George Washington Terminal, which is a terminal that you could basically go anywhere in the world from. So the kid knew how to get out of New York. Anyway, the bottom line, what I'm talking about is this, is that everything that's been taking place with this nation called Israel, I never remember. My earliest memories as a kid, growing up in a predominantly, like I said, Jewish neighborhood, was after the 19, I believe, 67 war. So how old would I be? 12 years, 13 years old? Yeah. Remember all the Jewish kids coming out, and they were all my age, the ones that were my age, and they were all happy that this 7 day war was won. And like I didn't even, in my household, okay, we didn't talk about that. My father used to talk about Israel, man. Wow, it's got new beaches. Yeah, man. Israel's a cool country, man. They're liberal, yeah, really. But you know what? The whole Middle East is a time bomb. They should all kill each other. So my father knew it was all bullshit going on over there, as well as you know, there was no. But I'll tell you one thing: from growing up around these people, they call themselves Jewish people. They do not respect non-Jews, and I'm gonna tell you why. When I was a young kid, maybe nine in the Heights, before I moved into this really upper class fucking Jewish neighborhood in Riverdale, with high rises, doormen, pool in the back, the whole 9 yards, off my father's salary, mind you. okay, was making the same as a union tin knocker, which is a sheet metal worker, which is with the iron workers, okay, affiliated, okay, was able to live around all these rich doctors and lawyers and all this managerial class of fucking people. And believe me, they were secular. And everybody was screwing everybody's wife. This is a fact. I grew up around it. I didn't see it in the Heights, but when I went to Riverdale and moved around these people, as you got out of the area where there was Puerto Ricans and blacks on across the street, and then all Jews and whites and Anglos on the other side of the street in Amsterdam Avenue and 167th Street. Well, I saw that true color. Now, going back to my childhood in the Heights, I remember an episode where one of them committed suicide. I remember as a kid seeing a puddle of blood in the backyard, and some lady, Jewish lady, jumped out the window. I don't know what the hell was going on, but she committed suicide. I remember seeing the blood as a kid. Now, I also remember a bunch of Jewish kids that were a little older than me taking advantage of me and telling me, like, you know, you want a potato chip? Yeah, right. Well, eat it off the floor. And like I was saying, well, that's fucked up. But as a kid, I don't know. I just ate one. And then I realized, I said, yo, this is fucked up. So I walked away. I went to one of my friend, whose father happened to be the super in my building. And they were a little older than me, a few years. But they were no pushover guys, right? They were doing the custodial work in the building. And, like, you know, they knew how it was athletic and stuff. Anyway, I told this kid named Joe, he was a little, and you know what he told me? He said, let's go find these guys. So we found them. I said, you know what? He said, did you make this guy eat off the floor? And he didn't have any words. So I said, yeah, this guy. I said, this guy right here, he was the one that he threw the chip on the floor. So Joey smacked it, whatever he had in his hand, I believe it was the rest of the chips, because this was spontaneous. And he said, now you eat them. He said, you know what? He said, matter of fact, he said, I want you to fight this kid. Okay, that's how it was when I grew up. He said, I want you to fight this kid, and I want you to show him that he disrespected you, that they're no better than you, that how they treat the Palestinians, eating off the floor. They back then they were taught that the non-Jew should eat off the floor. Well, I beat the fuck out of them, and they were all cowards. All right. So the bottom line is, I'm not buying this crap with the United States and Trump, and he is the savior. And Trump is I work for Trump. I work for President Trump. President Trump is who? He was in bed with Roy Cohen. I mean, come on, Peter Thiel, all these people, you mega people. Make America great again. When was it great? It's been an imperial fucking power. I was in the military, man. It's been an imperial fucking power for the last since its beginning. It has a doctrine called manifest destiny, man. Do you know what manifest destiny, the doctrine of manifest destiny means? Is that we are the new Israelites, man. We escaped the persecution of the Puritans or the crazy people in England, and we landed here, and on Plymouth Rock. In other words, no, Plymouth Rock landed on America. That's what happened. Okay, all right. And they said, well, what do we got? We got we're religious fanatics. We're criminals over there. So we got a Bible, but then we don't know. So they made friends with some Indians, and then what they did was they put a knife in their back, and then they stole everything, and your founding fathers are these great fucking Anglos. I ain't an Anglo. And thank God I'm not an Anglo. All right. So Scott Ritter is an Anglo. Ray McGovern's an Anglo. Okay. The other guy is an Anglo. Okay. Judge Knapp. 10 years on the bench, all these people giving opinions, and not any of them have been right. Now Scott Ritter says, Iran's on their back ass. Yo, you've been calling this war over in Russia for the last fucking 2 years. That it's going to fold and this, that, the other. Meanwhile, You understand? All this money and weapons and now the takeover and the ammunition that was left over from Soviet times is all being shipped to Ukraine. Okay, so all these guys, Scott Ritter, Ray McGovern, God bless you, but you know what? It's all been fucking wrong. And like the Syrian girl, right, who said it in one line, I don't give a fuck about anybody's understanding of what's going on but my own. I am through with people's analysis of this because it's become a grift, and the only adults really in the room. I tell you the truth. Out of all of them that stand out to me, out of every one of them, is Colonel Lawrence Wilkerson, Colonel McGregor, okay, Colonel McGregor, and Larry Johnson. All right. Ray McGovern's old, and God bless him. You know what I mean? He might be doing something he repented from. I don't know. But anyway, you know what I mean? Those guys, you know, and you know what? Even the Duran, I can't stand the guy from England, but they do decent analysis. You know, so like basically, October 7th for me told me who was who. Trump was never America first the first term. Trump was created. They put him in a show, okay, called Apprentice. They trained him how to be in front of cameras. He points to his celebrity war, man of the year, this, that, the other. So the Americans are not. They're not caught in America first. They got caught up in this guy's cult of a personality, which to me, believe me, you know, I didn't vote. I never voted in my life. I would never vote for any one of these fucking politicians. Okay? But I tell you one thing, okay? If you did, remember that Trump dropped more fucking bombs than Obama and Bush. Okay? Even through the surge in Afghanistan, after that surge with Obama's crap, okay, Trump outdid Obama with bombs in Afghanistan. And what happened? You gave up your beloved, beautiful Air Force base. You know, the guy is a 5-time fucking draft dodger. Right? If I was in the military, okay, and I knew a guy was called to service 5 times, how many presidents, do your homework, how many presidents were called to service that refused to service 5 fucking times in order to, you know, he was a fucking prime age to go to Nam. Oh, with what's his name? They got drafted. Okay, Oliver, the documentary guy, Oliver. What's his name? Oliver, whatever. Okay, so the bottom line, his name sits in my mind, Oliver Stone. So Oliver Stone, yeah, he was in Nam. Trump can't tie that guy's shoelaces. Oliver Stone. What did Trump do? He tapped into Christian nationalism. He took the power of the mega churches, okay, and all these Christian Zionists who believe in, well, we don't need a Messiah. We'll just create massive evil, and it'll hasten the end days. This is how these fucking people. This is Trump's camp. Charlie Faggot Kirk, scummer of the earth, okay, has the balls to tell the fucking guy that was on the USS Liberty, and I'm a naval veteran, okay, that never happened, that Zionist scum Israel never attacked USS Liberty. Charlie fucking Kirk. Grow a set of balls, you little piece of shit. All these fucking Pratt boys. He went back to the college campus and shook down a bunch of fucking 18-year-olds that never walked a beam of steel in their life. All these fucking people talk about, like this guy, Victor Davis Hanson. Okay, he talks about his fucking farm. You know, let me tell you something. Fuck him and his farm. Okay? I walk steel. I know what it is to be around welders and bending machines and building high rises in New York City and the new Second Avenue subway. I know what it is to be around construction. Trump did not want to go union. He did not want to pay union wages, but he had to because you know what? Back then when he was building, because he don't build anymore, really. He builds in non-union states, and the same people he mocks, he hires the Mexicans. He's a hypocritical piece of shit. And most of Washington is save Massey. The only one that stood up. He killed his wife. Yep, killed his wife. So, and this guy, Dr. E. Michael Jones, with his hatred of the Jews and this, that, the other. Listen, it ain't all of them, but the ones that are at the top, there's two sides of the coin, run the same thing. They manage to read the 12 protocols of Zion. They say it's made up of. But you see it worked out today. You see it, 12 protocols. What are the protocols of the elders of Zion? It's what you see today. Control of the media, control of the bank, control of the narrative, control of the narrative, control this. Everything's written right out. It's like every government does that. So, but you know what? The Jews, they were smart enough to use it. And they're not even really Israelites. This is what gets me. They have a Turkish Khazarian. That's why, what do you think, Erdogan? He's a fucking Turkish Khazarian, stab you in the back merchant. That's who he is. That guy, he stands in front. That guy, El Turk, whatever it is. It's a joke. These fucking people are a joke. And I hope that they try Iran. I really do. I would love to see them try Iran. With all that bluster, they attack countries. Of course, Syria, that's a big score for them. Do you think that stopped the resistance in the Islamic world? Do you really think that stopped the resistance of the Islamic world? As I sit in my living room, in my apartment, okay, and I film, all right, and well, okay, put it this way, I'm a veteran, right? So I'm retired, right? So I'm living off Social Security, right? I'm still an active union member at 69 years old, be 70 next month. I still pay my dues. Let's say the economy crashes. Let's just say all these people with gold, this, that, the other. But if you are healthy, this is the main thing. If you are a healthy male and you are basically old school in values and morals, you belong to an organization that demands a certain amount of money or else you can't be hired. I still part of that. So we got 4 years of Trump. 4 years of Trump. And what's that going to do? Whatever Trump does in 4 years, we'll never have to hear from Trump again. So he can ride off into the sunset, at 80 something fucking years old with his draft dodger coward self. I couldn't give a fuck. I couldn't care. He'd ride off. Biden, he'd probably be dead by then. All right. So my bottom line is like, well, they're telling me my Social Security check that I paid into the system will be done by 2035. Oh my God. I got 10 more years of my check. My veterans housing. I'm a veteran. Trump ran on protect veterans. Yeah. I don't even use the VA. I got my own insurance. I got Medicaid and Medicare. So, I'm exempt. I go to the VA if I need medication or I get it both ways. I get it from the VA and I get it from the private system. I don't know. I'm exempt. I'm a veteran and I'm exempt. Thank you. Thank you. Leave me exempt. Don't touch make my Social Security exempt. I'm a veteran. All those Social Security checks that are not veterans, okay, they're exempt from the cut. And these people, they play with people's lives. Who knows? I'll be around for uh, another 10 years anyway. You know what I mean? I got to be the loss upon $1. So yeah. By the way, I'm a Shia too. So I accepted that because I know the real deal about the 12 princes that were named in the Bible. I know who they are. So I'm gonna end the stream because it was just a rant. So I don't know who's gonna reach. I know one thing. I'm pissed off because so many American people think that things are gonna change. Trump already came out and said what he said. Well, it's going to take time to fix these prices because the inflation is up. All right, start a war with Iran and have everything blocked. All the sea lane. The Red Sea shut down. What are you going to do, Trump? You going to open up the Red Sea? You going to do that? You going to open up? You going to challenge the Houthis? They already did that. What are you going to do? Drop a nuclear weapon on Yemen? Okay, because that's the only way you're going to stop the Yemeni people from blocking your bullshit from going through to Israel. Okay, the colonial project, right? The military fucking base for the United States to keep control over the Arab people who are totally despicable fucking people. Yeah, they're good people. They got no fucking vote. They got nothing. They got nothing. At least in this country, we still got some type of vote, but it's between two pieces of shit. So it's the same thing in those countries as here. There's nothing changed in America. The only thing that will change the system in America is, I'll tell you what, when the American people take up the Second Amendment and take Trump and every fucking buddy else in Washington, okay, and put them all on Trump. Every fucking one of them. Good night.